All right, fourth grade, we have made it to the very last DBQ of the year. Can you believe that? So I'm going to go through this slideshow and I'm going to kind of model for you what we're expecting with your DBQ. Remember, a DBQ, a document-based question, means that you're going to be using documents that we give you to provide evidence for your answer. So we always use ACE. Answer the question, cite your evidence, and explain. I know hopefully that is kind of jogging your memory to some of our anchor charts we have in our classrooms and to some of the previous DBQs that you have written. We are remote learning, so we've changed a couple things because last time with your Utah DBQ, where you had to choose to be a Utah Pioneer or a Utah Ute, we asked you for a 5-paragraph essay. We are going to scale it back a little bit to a 3-paragraph essay, so please pay very close attention so you know what that should look like. You're probably wondering, well, we usually have documents. How are you going to get documents to look up for your DBQ? Now, some of you have done this already, so you know, but I know that my class hasn't done this. So again, please pay very close attention. You are going to get this slideshow in your Google Classroom, and you're going to go slide by slide. So on slide 2, this is the question that you're going to be answering. This is what your essay is going to be about. Do you think the American colonists were justified in declaring independence? Why or why not? Now, just down here, in case you need a little help, justified means having a good reason. So did the colonists have a good reason to declare independence? Did they do the right thing? And why or why not? You're going to write a 3-paragraph essay to explain your answers, and you are going to use 2 documents, and we need 2 documents, 3 pieces of evidence. So how many you used last time? So how that's going to look is if you have 2 documents, that means that one document you're going to use evidence from twice, 2 different pieces of evidence from one document. And then your other document, you're only going to need 1 piece of evidence or 1 citation. You did that on the last DBQ, so you should feel pretty comfortable with that. So your documents are found on slide 3. The first document is called No Taxation Without Representation. Now, you can click on this link right here, and it will take you to the document. So you have the whole document right here. Now, it looks like it's a lot, and I mean, it's kind of long, but it's no longer than some of the chapters that we read in our Revolutionary War reader. So please read through this. However, there is also this. There's a little button here. Now, you can pull up that document and then also listen to the document. This button right here will allow you to listen to the computer read you the document. I do recommend not just listening, but listening and following along, because you are going to need citations. So you are going to need to find a quote from this article, or you might need to find 2 quotes from this article, depending on what you're looking for. The second document is called Road to Revolution. If you click on this link right here, click it like this, it takes you to this article right here. And it is about the Boston Massacre. Okay, so we've got one about taxation without representation, and then we've got one about the Boston Massacre. Both things you should have some prior knowledge on from social studies. So moving on to slide 4, every time we have ever done our writing in class, we always have a graphic organizer. It might look a little bit different depending on what type of essay we've been writing, but for the most part, they generally look pretty straightforward. So on slide 5 is the graphic organizer. This is what you're going to fill out, and I'm going to come back to this and show you how to fill it out in just a few moments. But this is what how you're gonna plan your essay. Remember, it's always best to have a plan before you write. Good writers always know exactly what they want to say before they put it down on paper. And this is a great way for you to organize your thoughts, to find your citations and have it down so that when you go to write your essay, you don't have to scramble throughout those documents to look for the citations. You've already got them. Then, moving in through the rest of the PowerPoint, starting on slide 6, we start with an example of an introduction paragraph. And we put together a little example. We have gone your instructions here, and we color-coded them. So the first one is sentence 1, restate the question and provide your opinion. Over here, we showed you an example of this. On sentence 2, we did it in blue. It says write a sentence with your reasons or your support, the reason why you believe that. And that's what this sentence would look like here. Then sentence 3 says hook me in. This is the sentence where you can be creative and make me want to read your essay, and we've done that here in purple. So this follows the same pattern. We do an example, and then it's your turn. You do it. You do exactly what we did, but with your own words. Then we have another example. Your turn. This example is for your body paragraph where your citations are. I'm going to come back through this here in just a moment. Then you've got slide 9. That's your turn to do your body paragraph. Slide 10 is your example of the concluding paragraph that we put together for you, and then your turn. That is where we're going to end this lesson this week. Next week, you are going to get into slide 12 where you're going to do editing. So this week, you're focused on completing your rough draft or your sloppy copy, which is all going to be done in these boxes right here. This is where you're putting all of your paragraphs. These are your sloppy copies. That is going to be completed by Friday. So let's go back to the graphic organizer. Your ACE planning sheet. You're going to answer the question. Well, let's go back. What is the question? I've already forgotten what the question is. Many of you are thinking, I'm sure. The question is, do you think the American colonists were justified in declaring independence? Why or why not? So I'm going to answer the question here. If you click in this box right here, you can just delete the answer to the question, and you can write yes or no, but I'm going to model the yes. They were justified. Okay, there's my answer. Now, where it says citation 1, you're going to give me a reason, and then you're going to give me the quote. So this is, you have already read your documents. I've read my documents. Now, with me modeling this DBQ, I did not use the same documents that we provided you. We did this because we didn't want you to use our quotes or our answers. So as I move forward with this, showing you how I wrote my DBQ, I was using our social studies reader. So the reader that's in your social studies classroom, this is where I got my information and my quotes. So these are not going to be in your DBQ because you are not using the reader for your document. The documents that you're using are on slide 2. So my very first reason, after I had read my documents, my first reason is they had to share their homes. Colonists had to share their homes with British soldiers. And then I'm going to provide, so there's my reason, and then I'm going to put my quote. Quotes go in quotation marks. I'm going to put Parliament passed the Quartering Act. That was found in my reader. That would have been maybe your first document, okay? And in your DBQ, you would write here the title of the document, maybe taxation without representation, whatever document you found your citation, taxation without representation, or road to revolution, write the name of where you found that so you can put that in your paragraph. But I'm going to just put here the reader. Okay. Now, my next reason, or my second citation, is that they had to pay a tax collector. And my quotation, or my citation, is that colonists had to buy special tax stamps from tax collectors. That was from the reader. Now maybe that was from my second document, or maybe it was from the same document. Now I have to provide my third reason. My third reason is that they wanted to punish the colonists. And my quote to support that reason, the citation that I have to support that reason, is Parliament passed laws to punish the people of Boston. These are real quotes that I got from the reader. Just as when you do this, those should be real quotes from your documents. Now, 2 of these quotes are going to come from one document, and 1 of these quotes is going to come from the second document. Do not forget to use both documents. Now, my last part of the graphic organizer is to explain and then my conclusion. So with my explanation here, I'm going to say why I think these reasons let the colonists be justified in declaring independence. Well, I believe it because I do not think this was fair to the colonists. Or actually, I'm going to say, I do not think Parliament was being fair to the colonists. This is your opinion. You're giving me the reason that you believe they were justified in declaring independence. So that's my explanation right there. I put that. So now my essay's planned. I kind of have a good roadmap of where I'm going. So now into the first paragraph. Your introduction paragraph is always going to answer the question, restate the question, and provide your opinion. Then you're going to write a sentence that with your reasons, and then you're going to use a hook. So in our red sentence here, our very first sentence here, I needed to restate the question and provide an opinion. So here's my opinion. Yes, I think that the American colonists were justified in declaring independence. You can write that any way you want. It can be, I believe that the colonists were justified in declaring independence. But you want to answer the question. The answer is, were they justified? Now, write the sentence with your reasons of support. So they were justified because, and we put here the first reason from document 1, second reason from document 2, and third reason from either document. So my first reason was they had to share homes with the British soldiers. They had to pay collectors, and let's see, Great Britain wanted to punish the colonists. Those are my 3 reasons. Those are the 3 reasons that I provided from my graphic organizer. Now, you need a hook. You need something interesting to keep me wanting to read as a reader. And so the hook that we came up with, as Paul Revere said, the British are coming, the British are coming. Don't you want to read more? Now your body paragraph. This is where, so this is your turn. So now you've seen my example on slide 6. Now on slide 7, you do that same thing. You do not need to do it in color. You can do it in just black. Please do, actually. It makes it easier for us to read. Now, body paragraph. I did this in color again. Sentence 1, state your reasons here. You need to retell me this reasons. Okay, what your first reason? My first reason, the most significant reason was the British soldiers were allowed to live in colonists' homes. Okay, so there's my first reason. Now, if you noticed, I used a nice transition. If you look at the bottom of your page here, there are these links here that give you some ideas of transition and how to cite. So this transition page right here will show you some useful transitions that you can use to start a sentence. And then you also have this one for transitions into citing according to the text, the author stated. These are great just helpers to help you write a nice, easy to read, well-organized paragraph. So I've used a transition. The most significant reason was that British soldiers were allowed to live in colonist homes. There's my first reason. Now I have to give my citation to support that. According to the reader, there is my transition. And now I put my quote. Remember, quotes always have a quotation mark. Put the quotation mark first. My quotation or my citation is Parliament passed the Quartering Act. That is my citation, period, and quotation mark. Then move on to sentence 3. I need to have introduce the next citation or another reason, okay? Another reason, there's my transition, was colonists had to pay tax collectors for paper. Add my citation. In the text, colonists had to buy special tax stamps from tax collectors. That's sentence 4. Notice it's red. I used my citation and I used a nice transition that I took from this right here, the citing evidence sheet here. Now on to sentence 5. Introduce the next citation or the reason. This is actually needs to be reason. The last reason was after the Boston Tea Party, Parliament wanted to punish the colonists. That's my reason. Now I need to add my citation for that. I've got a reason with a citation to support it. Make sure that the citation aligns or goes with your reason. Don't say, the last reason was after the Boston Tea Party, Parliament wanted to punish colonists, and then give me a citation about the Boston Massacre. That wouldn't make any sense. So my last citation is, from the reading, Parliament passed laws to punish the people of Boston. Now, sentence 7 says to wrap up the paragraph with a concluding sentence. And so you're just wrapping it all together. These are just a few reasons the colonists declared independence. And now it's your turn. Slide 9 is your turn. The final concluding paragraph. We have color-coded it again. You need to restate your opinion, so answer it again. Tell me again what you think. Tell me your reasons one more time. You're summarizing them. Then give me an explanation of why. That goes back to your graphic organizer. So the sentence 3 is your explanation found here on your graphic organizer. So, and then sentence 4, the very final sentence is refer back to your hook, leave me wanting more. So leave end your essay with something interesting and catchy. So let's go back to sentence 1, restating your opinion. Our opinion is, in conclusion, look at that nice transition here. Look again, there's a transition helper down here. In conclusion, yes, the colonists were justified in declaring independence. Did I restate my answer? I sure did. Did I use the exact same sentence as in my first paragraph? No, I used a different transition, but it's the same thing. First, that's a nice transition. I would give my reason one. Reason one is that colonists had to share their homes with British soldiers. And then expand on that. First, colonists had to share their homes with British soldiers because of the Quartering Act, comma. So here, I'll just type that real quick. That's my first reason. Colonists had to share their homes with British soldiers because of the Quartering Act. Then, reason two, they had to pay tax collectors with special tax stamps. And last, Parliament wanted to punish the colonists of Boston after the Boston Tea Party. So I gave all three of my reasons again, but I expanded a little bit. I summarized. I added not just my reason, but just a teeny bit more from my explanation, or I'm sorry, from my citation. Right there, what I mean by that is my first reason was British soldiers had to share their home, or sorry, colonists shared their homes with British soldiers. But my citation was about the Quartering Act. So I added that in there. That's explaining or expanding, okay? Now, going on to sentence 3, explain your choices. This is where you restate your thought, your reasons. Why did the reasons that you gave me justify them? I don't think it was fair for Parliament to pass laws that did not affect their way of living. So that was all of these acts and these reasons that I selected didn't affect the British soldiers, they affected the colonists. And so my opinion is that it wasn't fair. And then I'm going to go back to my hook. And my hook, I started with Paul Revere's famous quote of, the British are coming, the British are coming. But I'm going to leave my last sentence since Patrick Henry wanted independence. And I believe that the colonists were justified in declaring independence. My last sentence, my hook, is as Patrick Henry said, give me liberty or give me death. So that's my rough draft. And if you go on to slide 11, then it's your turn to do your concluding paragraph. And up to slide 11, that's your rough draft. That's your sloppy copy. Okay, so that is what I want you to have done by Friday. How this should look is on Monday, today, I want you to watch this video. Hopefully you've gotten this far. And then read through your documents. Again, your documents are found on slide 3. Read through them, kind of have a good feel for what they say. Maybe think about some citations that you like. You can begin your graphic organizer. But the big thing today is to read through your documents. Then tomorrow, complete your graphic organizer. Okay, have it complete. Do not continue to write without your graphic organizer, slide 5, being complete. On Tuesday, do your first paragraph, your introduction. That's on slide 7, so here's the example. Do slide 7. On Wednesday, you're going to do your body paragraph. So that's slide 9. That's Wednesday. On Thursday, I said this all wrong. Tuesday, so today is Monday, you're going to read your documents. Read your documents today. Tuesday, fill out your ACE planning sheet. Wednesday, write your introduction paragraph. Thursday, do your body paragraph. And Friday, do your concluding paragraph. Have those done, but do not turn them in. If you turn them in, you can't, it doesn't save it when we need you to do more. Next week, you are going to do your editing. Now, one thing to keep in mind, slides 15 through 18 are rubrics. This writing is going to be 3 different grades for you. It's going to be a persuasive writing. It's going to be your use for text evidence like a DBQ always is, and your mechanics of writing. So we're taking 3 grades off of this, so it's very important for you to finish it. If you go to these rubrics, they should tell you what a 3 is going to look like and what a 4 is going to look like, and hopefully nobody's shooting for a 2. I hope everybody's shooting for a 3 or a 4. Go ahead and go through the rubric on your own here. So like on the rubric for persuasive writing, answer the question. This is what your answer should look like. Your introduction has a topic sentence that answers the question, and it gives your reasons, and it has a hook, just exactly like mine looks like. Transitions. You may forget a transition here and there, but for the most part, you've used transitions. Continuing on, your explanation, you use 1 sentence to explain, and it is clear why the quotes support your reasons. So it's very clear, and just like how mine looks where I have the explanation at the very end, I've added added that at this last paragraph. Summarizes the conclusion, okay? So your summary here mirrors your introduction. So you've got your reasons. Remember, I had the 3 reasons, but then I just expanded a little bit on them by adding a little bit of my citation. That's where I said colonists had to share their homes with British soldiers because of the Quartering Act. Because of the Quartering Act came from my citation. That's what you're summarizing there. You're just expanding on it a little bit. All right, and then your use of text evidence, if you want a 3, you're using your quotation marks, and you're using both documents, and your quotes, your citations match your reason. So you're using a citation that makes sense. Like, remember when I reminded you, don't give me a reason about the Boston Tea Party, but use a quote about the Boston Massacre. Make sure your quote makes sense. And then mechanics of writing, make sure that you can follow along. This is where your editing comes through. So you're going to look at this more next week, okay? So you guys can always, as you're writing, refer to these rubrics to help you be successful. They're a great tool to use to know what you need to have to get a color that you're looking for in your grade. As always, let us know if you have any questions. We are on GoGuardian all week. You can set up Zoom meetings with us if you want. If you're having any issues pulling up those documents, please let us know today. You should be reading those documents today. I don't want to hear on Thursday or Friday that I can't get the document to pull up, because that tells me you didn't work on it all week, and that's a lot of work for 2 days. We do need you to have your sloppy copy or your rough draft done by Friday, so that you have all week to make sure that you have your essay edited and published by next week, okay? Reach out if you have any problems with this. We can make a plan together, or we can kind of adjust some things here and there, but you do need to work on this every single day. All right, guys, good luck.